So I've moved on to SBC question 1, 2, and 3. And specifically today, I'm going to cover questions 2 and 3 with a bit of a revision on question 1. Each question is symbolic of a different type, right? So question 1 is one type. Question 2 is another type. Question 3 is another type, okay? And all the sub-questions are attached to these main questions, all right? So bear with me. I will revise a bit about the format of the oral, and then I'll go straight into it. Then I'll end off today by showing you a video to remind you of the procedures for COVID-19 safety measures put in place for the oral examinations. Okay, so you all watched it once before. I will let you view it again online. I ask you kindly not to record or take pictures or do any kind of recording. I will show you again on Monday, okay? Because this is confidential material and I don't want you sharing it with anybody else. Is that okay, everybody? Right, I have your agreement that this will be confidential and only in this Zoom session, okay? I'm recording this session, so for those of you who have not been able to attend this session or you came in late, you can always view the recording. I will post on Edmodo this evening and you can review what I covered. If I'm going too fast, you can also do the same thing. Go and look at the video and watch it and catch up, okay? So now I'm going to share the screen. Please let me know if you cannot see it, all right? All right, can you all see it? Okay, right. So today, right, like I said, I'm going to focus on type 1, 2, and 3 questions in oral. And at the same time, if you have any questions about what I'm sharing, right, just either raise your hand or unmute and ask me direct, okay? But of course, if you see someone else asking, wait for your turn before asking, don't interrupt your friend, okay? So today, we are going to talk about SBC. But before that, just a reminder that between the passage, the reading passage, and the picture, there's always a relationship, right? You all know that, huh? It's always connected. Okay, hold on. Someone's coming in. The late coming princess is here. Okay. All right. All right. So as I was saying, right? So today we are going to be talking about our SBC, and we are talking about type 1, 2, and 3 questions. And I was talking about how between the picture and the passage, there's always a relationship. Okay. And that connection between the picture and the passage is a thematic one. Right? Do you all know what I mean by thematic? Can anyone tell me what I mean by thematic? Go ahead and unmute yourself and tell me what is thematic.
Like, is it
Something based on a term.
Sorry, Megan, go. Carry on.
Is it a theme?
Theme, that's right. Okay, the word thematic comes from the word theme. And the word theme simply means the big idea. So what is the big idea that runs from the passage into the picture is what connects the two. So when you read the passage and you look at the picture, they should be connected in some way. And that connection is the big idea, the theme, okay? So there's a thematic condition, there's a thematic connection rather. Okay, so for example, the one that we just did, the passage was about a storytelling competition. The picture was about a spin-a-tail weekend activity. So they are very related and the questions will reflect that, okay? So what does this mean? What is the implication? If you see the relationship, then you can connect what you read in the passage to your responses in the picture, which means you can use or recycle the ideas in the passage for your responses in the picture. But don't be too obvious about it, all right? Don't copy wholesale and just dump it on the examiner because the examiner is not stupid. The examiner is very smart. He or she will be able to hear that, hey, how come you're just copying entire chunks away from the reading aloud and then dumping it on me in the picture response? Don't do that. Change details, right? Change a bit of the situation and the scenario, and that will be good enough for the examiner. They'll accept it as part of your response, okay? But don't be too obvious in copy and pasting, all right? So let me go and dive into SBC today, right? SBC, as you know, is formatted in this way, right? 3 main prompts and 3 sub-prompts. You all look in your practice papers and notes, you will see the same thing, okay? The main prompts in red are compulsory. So as you walk away from the exam, right, if you have been asked any less than 3 questions, you must immediately alert whoever is the teacher of your waiting room or of the area outside your exam room. Do you all understand? Okay, because it is an offense not to ask you at least 3 main questions, and the teacher must be held accountable if that happens. Minimum 3, maximum 6 or 7, depending on the teacher, okay? So the 3 main prompts are compulsory. The 3 sub-prompts in green, they are not. And in fact, right, the main prompts cannot change. In other words, when the teacher is reading the main prompt to Cheryl, that main prompt must be read in the same way to Justin, must be read in the same way to Xavier, must be read in the same way to Joyce, and so on. Everybody, when you come out of the exam, you should hear the same main prompt, exactly word for word. They are not even allowed to change one word in the main prompt. However, based on your response to the main prompt, right, the teacher is allowed to change the sub-prompt. So the sub-prompt will reflect your response to the main prompt. If you are very, 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 very thorough, right, the teacher may not even ask you the sub-prompt. Do you understand? Right? If you understand, please not. Not yes. Okay, good. Thank you. Right? So the sub-prompt depends on the main prompt. If your main prompt, you have a lot of answers and you totally cover it, right, then the sub-prompt will not be asked. That's why sometimes some people walk out with only 3 questions asked, because they have thoroughly covered everything, including the sub-point. As you will see later, it's very related, okay? So next, let's take a look, right? Let's jump right into it. These are the 3 types of questions that I'll be covering today, after which I will give you some time to record your responses to this exact oral picture, okay? So I will send this slide to you. You will use this slide to respond using the pointers that I will include here as well, okay? So the first picture, we have already gone through this, and I've already told you about it. It's always connected between the first question and the first picture. Always connected, okay? Why? Because they want you to talk about the picture. Please don't go too far away from the picture. Anything you say, whether it's personal experience or personal opinion, always relate it back to the picture. Always relate it back to the picture, okay? That way you will not go out of point. Don't go too far away, because those will come in the second and the third type of questions, all right? So very quickly, what are some of the features in your type 1? Okay, connected to the picture. It requires systematic analysis and personal connection. What do I mean by that? That means you got to go in order, right? Normally for Mr. Pang, when I respond and you listen to my model, right, I always work from top down, okay? Because a lot of these kinds of oral pictures, they are posters. And a poster is meant to be read, if you realize, from the top downwards, correct? Because the title is always on top. You never see a poster where the title is somewhere in the middle, right? Usually title on top, followed by details further down, and then some pictures to support those details. So in order to follow that format, I will respond in that way when I describe the pictures. I go downwards, and then I go through all the elements, make sure I don't miss anything out. Okay, so that's what I mean by systematic analysis, okay? Systematic analysis, all right? So I go in order and I don't skip any part of the picture. All right, next one, I must always begin by saying what the picture is, define it, the definition. So this is a brochure, this is a picture, this is a handout, this is a letter, this is an email, this, you know, whatever it is, you must say it, right? This is a picture of a poster. Then you answer, I would be interested in such an event, okay? Never skip that. Always tell the examiner exactly what you're looking at. This is a poster, brochure, picture, handout, letter, email, whatever, okay? Because that will set the context for the rest of your answer, okay? Then after you give the definition, you must always follow that very closely with the purpose. So if this is a brochure, if this is a handout, if this is a poster, what is it trying to do to you? Because you're looking at it, right? What is it trying to make you do, right? Is it trying to sell you something? Is it trying to advertise something? Is it trying to encourage you to do something? Is it trying to make you aware of something? You all remember the PSLE one about the poster in the computer lab, right? The one where they told you what you must remember to do. That poster is trying to remind the students that they must do certain things before leaving the computer lab. That's the purpose. So state the purpose after you have made a definition of what the picture is. So this is a poster. This poster is trying to encourage us to, you know, do activities together as a family, right? To work together as a family, right? To foster closer family ties, right? So after you explain the purpose, then you can start to describe each element of the picture and break it down. Justin, are you paying attention? Focus, huh? I can see you, huh? Okay, this is being recorded, you understand? Your name is going to be immortalized for all of eternity, huh? Right? As the naughty person who interrupted my flow of lesson. Huh? Now I have to edit it out. Okay? Jinxian, are you okay? Can you follow? Okay, since I'm going to edit her out. Where is Kaylin? Where is Kaylin? Kaylin, wave your hand. Good. Okay. So far, any questions? Quite clear, right? Okay, so there is a sequence to this, right? You analyze the picture, you define what it is, then you give me the purpose for that picture, then you start to go into each part of the picture and describe each element, okay? As you are making these descriptions, you must use POPE, right? Connect these elements to yourself. I don't like potato sack race. I love tug of war. I hate the obstacle race. And then as you are giving your personal opinion, substantiate with reasons why. I love the potato sack race because I'm very good at it, right? I'm a champion potato sack racer, whatever. Okay, then give a personal experience. I remember when I was in kindergarten, I won the potato sack competition. I got first prize 3 years in a row. Wait a minute, kindergarten how many years? Huh?
2 years of kindergarten and then 2
Xiaxuan
years of
put 4 years.
nursery.
Xiaxuan 4 years. You retain 2 years. Retain 2 years in kindergarten, is it? No, 2 years. Okay. So yes, 2 years in kindergarten. So like I was twice crown champion of the potato race. So you use personal experience to expand your response, but always come back to the picture. Don't go into this long grandmother story. Wow, then the potato sack race was so wonderful, and then after we raced the potato sack race, we took the potatoes and then we made French fries, and then after we had French fries for lunch, and then wow, it was so wonderful, and then it was a beautiful day. Thank you. Do you understand what happened there? I went out of point, right? I went way out of point. The question is not asking you about what you did with the potato sack or what you did with the potatoes in the potato sack. The question is, what is the interest that you have in this event? So you must always come back to the question. Even if you talk about the potato sack race, right, you come back to the question. The easiest way is just to move on to the next part of the picture and talk about something else, okay? And the more you describe, the more fully developed your answer will be, okay? But please try not to put your examiner to sleep, right? Nobody wants to hear about the life cycle of a potato, for example. Or, nobody wants to hear about how the rope in the tug of war was extremely rough and then it was made of how many strands, that kind of stuff. Don't go into too much detail because that will bore your examiner, right? Use relevant and interesting details that will highlight the connection to the question, which is why you are interested in such an event. Always relate it back to yourself with POPE, and of course, summarize at the end, right? In summary, or at the end of all that I have to say, or at the end of, or in summary, basically just in summary, right? I believe I would love to attend such an event because my family and I love to play such games, whatever. Okay, so you just summarize your response in one line to indicate to the examiner that you have come to the end of your response. Okay? Any questions? Any questions? No? All right, excellent. Okay, so this is something that we are supposedly very good at already. We are able to systematically describe the picture. We are able to connect to POPE. We are able to give why, right? Okay, now let's go into type 2, which is what I want you all to record today. Type 2 question. Okay, type 1 question today don't need to record. Today we are looking at type 2 and type 3 questions. Okay, let's take a look at this question. All right, I changed the question. This is not the question that is in the notes I gave to you because I think that question is very lame and it's not very good. So I've changed the question, all right? If you refer to this, I think this is practice 3 or 4 of your listening comprehension book, you will notice that the question is different, okay? It's not the same. But the question here I've put here is, what activities do you and your family enjoy doing together? Now notice that the second question onwards is not so closely related to the picture already. It is going into a general and broad theme. The general theme of this picture and this passage is family, right? That's the general idea of both picture and passage. So now the second and the third question are going into a more general and broader question, no longer anchored to the picture anymore. But can you still use the picture? Yes, you can borrow some ideas, like you borrowed from the passage for question 1, you can borrow from the picture for question 2. But the bulk of your answer cannot be from the picture anymore. It must be your personal opinion and personal experience, right? So you and your family is what this question is asking you, not the family in the picture. Okay, so then you can talk about general things that you do together as a family. Like remember the model I gave you about the badminton game, right? I enjoy playing badminton with my family. You can use that, okay? Or you can substitute in an activity that you like. For example, Josiah might say, you know, my family and I enjoy catching turtles every weekend, right? We go to the beach and catch turtles, right? Because I love turtles, right? I love eating turtles. I love catching turtles. I love playing with turtles. I love turtle memorabilia and merchandise, etc.
Mr. Pang, isn't catching turtles on the beaches illegal in Singapore?
Chloe, I'm just giving an example. Don't get so hung up about the legality of it.
Sorry.
It's okay, right? You all understand that I'm not being serious, right? You know that I'm not advocating that you go out into the beaches of Singapore and catch turtles, right? You know that, right? Just in case you don't, I'm making this qualification here that this is part of a performance. I am trying to engage you through humor. I'm not asking you to slaughter turtles or to eat them. Do you understand? All right? So please don't go and do that or tell your parents that I told you to do that. Okay? Any turtle slaughter is your mistake, not mine. Okay? So please focus on the main point, which is we are talking about substituting in your personal response, right? Mine might be badminton, yours might be something totally different. But make sure it's something your family does together. The keyword is family, right? The main theme and idea, it must always be in your head. It's about family. It's not about you. Don't tell me that you like to shut yourself in a room and play games all day. That is totally not related to the theme of family, right? So focus on the theme, respond accordingly. Okay? So you will notice that actually the sub-theme, are there any activities that you think your family would avoid, is related to the main question, right? Actually, if you answer the main question and you remember what Mr. Pang said, what did Mr. Pang say about decoy questions? You remember that? Remember I drew the picture of the iceberg, right? Then I drew the water line, right? Okay, on top, that's what activities do you and your family enjoy doing. That's the top part of the iceberg, right? Actually, the bottom part of the iceberg, right? That is the sub point that's not asked, right? Is, so what would you not enjoy doing together? What do you not like to do? What would you avoid? Okay, so actually, if you do the iceberg model that Mr. Pang taught you, right, you will have answered the sub point already. So the teacher won't even need to ask you the sub point. You have already answered it in your response to the main point because you did the iceberg model, top and bottom, right? The decoy question and the main question. So same thing, you can choose any one of these activities in the picture if you run out of ideas. You might say, we hate to play board games because there's a word game there. We hate to play board games because it's boring, whatever. You can use examples there to talk about what you don't like in addition to what you like, okay? And give reasons why. Same thing, PO and PE, okay? So let me summarize what I said. The second question is always related to the picture, but not as directly related as the first question. So you do not draw the majority of your answers from there. It requires a lot of your personal experience. Question 2 is testing your personal experience, okay? How you remember, as well as what you want to do, your predictions, memories and predictions. Remember, past and future, okay? So all of what I covered in class, I'm just revising it here today to remind all of you, and I will send this to you so you can refer to it, okay? And then your personal opinion, right, must be strongly expressed. Meaning, I feel, I hate, right? I really love to do this, right? I detest, like that, okay? So the stronger you express your emotions and your feelings, the more effective and less boring your responses will be. Do you understand? Don't give like very like run out middle of the road answers like, I think maybe I like, maybe perhaps, don't use such words. Perhaps, maybe, like, not sure, not permitted, cancel, not allowed. You cannot be unsure. You must be very sure. Yes, I love it. Or no, I hate it. I detest it because da 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 da. Right? The clearer your answer is, the stronger it is, the more effective it will be, especially in question 2. Right? Question 1, not so much because it's descriptive. Question 2 is testing your memory, your prediction, and your personal opinion, what you feel about it. So your feelings must be clear. Okay, next. Why? Give as many supporting reasons as you can, right? Why do you feel this way? Why do you hate it? Right? And please don't give answers like because it's dumb, because it's lame. These are not answers. They don't answer the question. What do you mean by dumb? What do you mean by lame? Anyway, it's rude, right? Don't use the word dumb or lame, right? It's rude words. Don't use these rude, R-U-D-E, not rude, not rude, rude words. These are rude words, okay? Don't use stupid, don't use dumb, don't use lame. Not allowed, right? What you should instead say is that I hate or I detest these activities because I don't see any purpose why we need to do them. Instead, we should do meaningful things like, and then always suggest an alternative to what you hate. Okay? Don't just leave it hanging in the negative, turn it back to the positive. And that's where your supporting reason comes in. Your supporting reasons will turn it from negative to positive. Okay? Compare and contrast. This one, you want to get highest band, right? You must do this. Point of view. I say again, point of view. Those of you who like to game, you know what's POV, right? POV camera, point of view. Okay, can anybody tell me what is point of view? Anyone?
Is it like first person?
Very good. First person is one point of view. What's another point of view?
Third person.
Third person. What else? Got second person?
No.
Yeah.
Huh?
Don't have.
Don't have.
I don't
First
have.
person is when
No.
there is no second person, all right? I'm telling you straight in the face. First person is when what?
First person is when like you
Like you are the main character.
you're in the main character. You
Yes.
cannot see the whole body.
Yes, you are like looking out of the character's eyes, right? You cannot see the character. You are looking out of his or her eyes. So that's first person. Got it? So in a first person perspective, right, you are the person talking about your own feelings. That's first person. You understand? Not if you understand. Not. Okay. Then third person,
You are like the narrator, like someone like who is not in the story.
No.
Someone.
Sorry?
Observe your character.
Yes, you observe someone else. That means, let's say if first person, I am me. Third person, I can be my brother. Or third person, I can be like my mother, right? So I observe my mother. I don't like, but maybe my mother likes. Right, Justin? I don't like nagging, but maybe my mother likes nagging. Correct? Nobody likes nagging. It's because you need to be nagged. That's why. Okay. Or for example, first person, I feel that the weather today is beautiful, right? It's overcast and it's slightly cool, right? Third person, but I think, let's say, I think that maybe Megan Kwek, right, doesn't like the weather today because she prefers sunny days. She prefers, beautiful white fluffy clouds in the cerulean blue skies, a cool breeze blowing through the rustling the leaves on the trees. Maybe she prefers that kind of weather. So that's third person. Do you understand? So if you can do point of view change, you talk about yourself, then you talk about your family members, how each family member feels, that will enhance the effectiveness of your response. You don't just talk from yourself, you are able to see things from somebody else's shoes. Okay, somebody else's shoes. Oops. I mean, put yourself into someone else's shoes and to see things from someone else's perspective. Okay, do you understand? So that's point of view. That's very effective, especially in question 2. All right.
Mr.
Last thing. Yes. Who is this?
Earlier when you were talking, I saw Jiaxing look at her phone.
Justin, don't look at your phone. Don't be naughty. Actually, I cannot monitor and control y'all. I can only trust you. And really, honestly, if you do it right, I won't know also. I can't monitor every one of you, but it will show, right? It will ultimately show. So I ask of you, be more aware. There are 24 hours in a day. I'm only taking half of yours, half of an hour. Pay attention to me now. Later, you can do whatever you want to do, okay? Please know what is important and know what is in front of you. Do what is important and what is in front of you. Don't get distracted, all right? So summarize your personal response and personal opinion in the end. So after you talk about all these things, right, come back to the answer. So in summary, right, or in conclusion, I would really enjoy doing this with my family because of this. Just summarize everything, right? After all you say, come back to the question, remind the examiner that you are focused on the question. You have not gone out of point, okay? That's what the summary at the end is always for. Remind the examiner, I remember you asked me this question and I have answered it, okay? So that's type 2 question. Type 3 question is almost identical to type 2, but it's even broader. It goes even further away from the picture, okay? So question 1, right on the picture. Question 2, moving away from the picture. Question 3, totally away from the picture. Okay, so let's take a look. This is question 3, okay? So blah, 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 very long sometimes. So in this event, right, if the teacher reads this long question, then you cannot catch it. What can you do?
Ask the teacher to say it again.
Yes,
Yeah.
please ask the teacher to repeat. Thank you. Right? So immediately ask the teacher, I'm sorry, could you please repeat it? And the teacher will repeat it again. But please don't keep doing it. You will annoy the teacher. Okay? Once should be good enough. All right? So spending time doing things with your friends, family helps us understand one another better, strengthen our relationship, blah, blah, blah. What kinds of activities do you enjoy being engaged in with your friends? And do you think your friends feel the same way about these activities? Blah, blah. So basically the question is this. What do you like to do with your friends? And do you think your friends also like it? That's basically the question, right? You can ignore the rest in front, right? As long as you answer this question, you will be relevant. Okay? So basically, again, same thing. It is very, very distantly related. You can perhaps use some ideas, but you got to totally rephrase it. It is to do more with your personal experience here and your personal opinions, and it should be expressed strongly in your feelings and opinions. But remember, this is a general theme already. It's further away from the picture. So talk about your personal experiences, right? Same thing, same thing. Okay? And of course, to end, you summarize, right? So your task for today, and I really took half an hour, I am done with the main presentation point already. The rest of this is now up to you. You will record your answer to question 2 or question 3. What connector did I use?
Or.
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 What does or mean?
Either one.
Either one.
One. Only one. Please don't record 2 and 3. Do you all understand? Based on your choice, choose one. Both are almost the same in terms of their structure. 2 is closer to the picture, 3 is further away from it. But both will test you on your PE more than your question 1. At this point in time, let me remind you that the theme of this picture is family. So your activity cannot be an individual one. It must involve the entire family, and the more you are able to express the togetherness idea, the stronger your response will be, because the theme is family. The idea is family, okay? Now, please, I'm going to stop sharing, right?